I'm glad that we have you here to speak to us as we continue to show our support for Israel. But I am concerned that there is an increased attack on U.S. troops by the Iran's proxies in Iraq and Syria. And last week, the number of reported injuries service members doubled. I want to ask you, was it because there were additional attacks or because initial number of injuries were underreported?
Thank you so much, Congresswoman, for that question. What it indicates is that some of the injuries became more apparent over time. So there was initial monitoring, many of the forces returned to duty and then reported symptoms after, and that is why you saw an increase in the number.
Okay. What is your assessment of Houthis' involvement in the war against Israel? And what is driving their attacks?
Thank you, Congresswoman, for that question. It's a good one. Look, they are, as a movement, very ideologically committed to a sort of death to America, death to the Jews, death to Israel sort of outlook on the world, shall we say. They have thus tried to enter into the fray, largely unsuccessfully, thanks to the good efforts of our U.S. military.
Can you talk about how that impacts our U.S. national security interest in Red Sea, like freedom of navigation?
It's a direct threat.
Do you have any thoughts?
I agree it's a direct threat, and I would note it's specifically why one of the core U.S. interests in the region is freedom of navigation, and we have been very clear in the last several days about sending the USS Carrier Strike Group Eisenhower through the Suez and through the Red Sea, as well as the USS Florida, the nuclear-guided submarine.
Thank you. You know, the Gaza Strip is a notoriously difficult military operating environment, given the defense urban terrain and expansive tunnel network. Still, the IDF has significant combat advantages over Hamas, and they've made substantive progress in the first days of what will likely be a lengthy ground operation. I want to ask you if the administration is prepared to support Israel throughout the duration of its campaign to defeat Hamas.
From President Biden to Secretary Blinken to Secretary Austin and on down the chain, the commitment to Israel's security and having it ensuring that it has what it needs to defend itself from terrorism is ironclad.
Okay. You know, there is a bipartisan consensus in Congress that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps be designated as a terrorist organization by the EU. How is the administration proactively working with our EU allies to accomplish that bipartisan goal?
It is a topic of discussion, and we certainly support that.
Great, thank you. And I would like to yield the remaining time to my colleague, Mr. Mills.
Thank you so much for that. I wanted to follow up. You know, we had a colleague of ours just recently on the other side that was talking about how these ambulances are being struck or these buildings are being struck. And I just wanted to put that in perspective. Of the entire Gaza area, there's about 260,000 structures. Is that correct?
You've got me. I know the sort of the general dimensions of the Gaza Strip and the population and so forth. I don't know the exact count on.
Well, my understanding is that of the 260,000 structures, about 9,500 have had any structural damage or have been actually targeted as a result of IDF utilizing it to go after weapon caches or to focus on terror tunnels or to look at areas where Hamas leadership is. And I just want to paint that perspective because that's only about 3% of the entire area, and when you see mainstream media, they try to paint it as if it is an entire demolition of all of Gaza, and it's just a false narrative. The last thing I want to ask is are you aware of a gentleman named Salih al-Jafarawi?
No, I am not.
He is a Bollywood actor. Are you aware of Bollywood? So Bollywood is essentially where certain crisis actors, he's a very interesting gentleman because at 25 years old, he's apparently a radiologist, a singer, a Hamas fighter, a doctor, and he's actually been killed and was resurrected. So quite an interesting individual. The reason I mention this is because he's about as real as the ghost of Kiev. He has legitimately gone forward and utilizing this misinformation and propaganda warfare is continuing to try and look as if the U.S., the Department of Defense, and the IDF is in some way just indiscriminately killing civilians, which we know is to be false. And so just out of the last second I have or so, would you agree that some of the misinformation and propaganda that is being spun up at this time is, in fact, been proven inaccurate, just like the ambulances and others who are portraying things that are untrue to try and gain unfavorable outcomes for our joint forces?
Yes, a good example is the accusation that the IDF is responsible for the Al-Ahli hospital strike.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate my colleague lending her time. With that, I yield back.